So this is completely ridiculous. The government has no right to shut down churches or any gathering of people. It's ridiculous. Folks, have you forgotten, people, that we pay the government's bills? These people are our servants. They are not our bullies to tell us how to manage our own health. Are you kidding me? Wake up, people, and realize that you pay government servants to be your servant. He's called a prime minister because the word minister means servant. You pay his salary. He does not have the right to tell you what you can and cannot do as a social human, made in the image of God, responsible for your own health and how you take care of yourself and your own beliefs, your freedom of worship, your freedom of love, your freedom of gathering together with other people, however and wherever you please. So, wake up, people. John MacArthur is absolutely doing the right thing by freely holding his church services as always. Every pastor, that is compelled, to hold services should absolutely do so. And everyone is free to meet however they want, whenever they want, as long as it's not a crime, which we all know, according to the law of God. Done. Citizens of the world, have you forgotten that you are the ones who pay government workers' salaries? And at the same time, government workers, have you forgotten that you are the ones that are paid for by the taxpayers? Never in the history of the world has such a small number of people told such a huge number of people what they can and cannot do regarding basic human life. The freedom to walk without a mask anywhere. The freedom to meet in public worship places. The freedom to gather in any place for any reason that is not a crime against the law of God, that is not a hurt to a fellow man. Ladies and gentlemen, this is ridiculous. John MacArthur is doing the right thing in the U.S. as a pastor by holding his church services as always. Guys, and jump back to the root of this silly issue. This thing is like a ridiculous, folks, when in the history of the world has the government the right to tell you how to take care of yourself? And whether or not something in this world is dangerous for you. Guys, stand up against this. Be yourself. Don't wear a mask. Go to church as always, if that's what God leads you to do. This is total madness. It's total madness. And people, allow me to say this. Every day that people bow down to this, they're literally writing a history record for themselves as fools or cowards. This applies to everyone. The prime ministers that are coming up with these regulations, mayors, premiers, whoever it is, you're recording a personal history of cowardice/foolishness before the Most High God, and you are going to be judged in accordance with God's wisdom and perfect holy judgment, and it's just plain cowardice, foolishness, insanity. It's abusive, it's moronic. The whole world needs to go back as quickly as possible to the way things were before this entire so-called COVID nonsense came along. Folks, every human being is responsible for their own health. That's the way it has been from the dawn of time. It's so simple. It's like, oh my goodness. Every human is responsible for their own health. You know, if a human is going to live a foolish life and rebel against the law of God and rebel against the ways of God and, you know, eat all sorts of nasty things and consume all sorts of nasty things that get them sick, well, then that human has to learn the consequences of being foolish. You know, if it's called freedom from the dawn of time. No one has to wear a dumb mask. This is retarded. And you're all making fools of yourselves. And here's the big kicker. God does not bless fools or rebels. He starts to curse your life. You'll start to get all sorts of irrational fears and plagues in your own life. And I'm here, you know, you got to obey God. Like, stop all this COVID regulation, all this mask wearing regulation. Just, it's cursed by God. I'm here to tell you it's cursed by God. People trust in Jesus Christ for your health. The Holy Spirit guides us in our proper health care and health decisions personally. Don't wear a mask. Don't try and tell anyone that they have to wear a mask. Don't tell anyone that they can't freely gather in any public gathering that they own and pay for of their own accord. The government is paid for by the taxpayers. Every government worker, we pay your salary. You do not pay our salary. We pay your salary. That's how it works. That's the truth about government. The working citizens pay the government's salary. And the government has no right to crack down on people's businesses. It's like, it's madness. Oh. Ay. All right. So people, open up all the churches. Open them all up. Pastors, start holding services again. People, gather freely as much as you want without any social distancing. This is all retarded. This is all satanic. This is all fake. This is all displeasing to God. Take off all the masks. Take down all the plexiglass. Or something worse is going to come upon the people that are promoting this, championing this, and pushing this agenda. God himself is going to judge you. And it's not pretty. But I'm here to tell any individual that does not partake in any of this nonsense, you're going to be blessed.